Hello and welcome to Finextra TV's Thought Leadership Series. I'm Hannah Wallace, and with us on the call now is the much anticipated Lars Sjögren, CEO of P27 Nordic Payments Platform. Hi Lars, it's good to see you again. Welcome back.
Thank you, Hannah. It's a pleasure meeting you online this time.
Yes, virtual this time, not in the studio. And of course, last time we spoke was back in November at NextGen Nordic's P27 Momentum, when we talked about a range of things, including actually the rollout to 2021. So it's no surprise that the industry has been growing in anticipation, eager to hear what's next on the agenda for P27. But of course, in that time, we've also seen the industry undergo huge disruption from coronavirus. So let's start there. How have you and the P27 management been handling this, and what's been the impact on the first half of the year?
But of course, we went into 2020, full of energy, full of plans, and we had everything laid out. And then came the Corona situation, and for us it changed everything from one day to the other. We have people in several countries, and we quickly agreed that we would, even though there are some differences in the approach to Corona, we decided that in P27 we take the same approach. So everyone was sent home, and we turned P27 over just a night to a completely virtual company, building on digital activities, and so it went really quickly, and it was a major change for us. Then we started to look into potential impact, and we did a review of the 40 plus priority projects that we are running at the same time in P27. What would be the potential Corona impact of those, and we made assessments and see what could we do actually to mitigate some of that. Mm-hmm. And we see some impact, but not a lot actually, and it's quite amazing to see that the world around us also dealt with this in the same way. So we see some impact on some activities, but largely we are actually sticking to the plans that we had pre-Corona actually.
Well, that's brilliant to hear, Lars. And now with a little bit more focus on the actual implementation of P27, what are your plans and what are the challenges you predict for the remainder of 2020, especially in regards to practical steps and actions? So what can we expect to see happen?
I can say that they can expect to see a lot of P27 in the second half of 2020, even more in 21 and in 22. I would say that then they really can start to harvest the benefits of P27. But actually, we are now in the difficult year. The first year in a project like this is, it's PowerPoint and it's visions and it's, the grand things that you want to accomplish. Then comes the reality when you take the PowerPoint and turn it into concrete activities. And that is exactly where we are now in P27. It is a lot of hard work today. We are setting up and building our data centers. We do that in Sweden and actually also in Norway. In terms of the implementation, we now have our front-runner project in Sweden up and running, where 4 banks are participating and they are deeply involved in the realization, and they will be the first ones that go onto the platform. So these front-runners, they represent 60% of the Swedish market, and we are in parallel working with Instant. We are also reaching out to the rest of the Scandinavian and Nordic banking communities to ask what are their plans for P27. So I think that I know for sure there are a lot of hard work going on also on the banking side right now. And in order to manage the product migration on top, we have set up the transformation committee, which has a very broad representation from banks, and also there is even a Norwegian bank in that one, DNB. They are represented in the transformation committee together with a couple of other Swedish banks and the P27 owners. And we are working on the SEK, sort of on the DKK instant, the Euro instant, and the other batch schemes. And we are at various degrees of implementation there. So I would say that the banking community and their IT suppliers, they are thinking a lot about P27 right now, because they start to realize that there will be a date that they will need to plan for when we then aim to be up and running and ready. So we are largely following our plans, but I would say that in the P27 landscape, there are, many things are surprises to us, because it has never been done before. So we get questions from all sorts of actors in the market. So how to do with this, how to think in this case, and so on. And we are just working ourselves through. So it's quite exciting, actually.
That's really interesting, and it sounds like you've been putting a lot of hard work into it, Lars. Now, I think it's worth reiterating that P27 aims to build the first real-time cross-border payment system in multiple countries. So obviously, like you say, the commitment of Nordic countries is central to the success of P27, and they do need full support from Nordic authorities to achieve this. Now, you've gone into it a bit there already, but could you tell us what is each country's commitment to P27? And you also mentioned Norway, so could you tell us where they stand here?
Yeah, but this is that so far, I think it's safe to say anyway, the only real setback we had in the project, and that is when Norway decided to step out and stand on the sideline and then potentially join in later. But we have actually quite a lot of meetings with the central banks in Finland and in Sweden and in Denmark and the FSAs of respective country, and obviously we are also having similar meetings with the Norwegian authorities. They are right now in Norway in the middle of thinking how will they do instant payments in the future. Obviously, we are there pointing to what we actually could do for the Norwegian community. And DNB is obviously a key stakeholder there, and it's good to see that DNB now is much closer to P27 than they were 6 months ago. We are working on, for example, a Nordic bill payments solution, and in the planning work there, DNB is actually a part of it. So when we think about P27 as a Nordic initiative, we definitely include Norway there as well. But don't forget that Norway is just one country. We have 3 others that are fully committed, and I think that is really what we are focusing on.
Clearly, this is an enormous project you are leading, with many changes and complexities still left to manage. But with so much focus on the technical and operational side of things, I think it's worth restating why P27 is so important for the future of trade across the Nordic countries. So remind us, what are the benefits for the banks, businesses, and the consumers?
But I think that for first, we need to realize that the alternative is not really there, because we today have a very fragmented and old infrastructure in all Nordic countries, and the situation is very much the same elsewhere. So actually building something new, I think it is really important for everyone. And in the Nordics, what we will give is true instant payments across border and multi-currency. That can't be done elsewhere, and where we see the true benefits there also for the end consumer is of course that suddenly it will be much easier to build smart mobile solutions that work seamlessly across border, the mobile pays and the Swish and the Vips and those, they can really benefit that, and customers will immediately be able to see something really, really great coming out of that. Then of course, when payments, the number of payments are growing rapidly, have a resilient platform that actually can deal with the increasing numbers of payments. Obviously, that is where we also can support that. And then 27 million people living in the Nordics and building on one payments super highway. I'm really excited to see what kind of innovation can you actually build on top of P27? We talked about bill payments and those type of solutions, which is really in the e-commerce space. But what else could you actually build? I think it's amazing just to start to think about that. And I know that there are many fintechs out there actually doing that. And then the benefit number 4, I think, is also very important. We need safe and resilient payments infrastructure across Europe and in the Nordics. And that is something that we can build, a platform where we can help to work and solve potentially, at least partly, some of the challenges we have with fraud and AML and so. So there are a number of very concrete benefits that will materialize over the next couple of years, thanks to P27 platform.
Well, Lars, thank you so much for clearing up a few things there. No doubt we'll be speaking in the lead up to the 2 webinars we have, as well as the conference. So I look forward to speaking with you again then. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.